Your blood shed for my righteousness, and now I want to victory. Oh, and now I want to victory. I was born to win. I was born to reign. I am not defeated. No matter what I see, I will always win. Whatever comes my way, I will always win.
Kendra, go ahead.
Not
Go
here.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Gigi Show. I'm not hearing. Yes, are you guys hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, we're hearing.
We're hearing you. Are you having
Yes.
technical difficulties?
Welcome to another edition of the Gigi Show. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're listening from. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to say happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy retirement, whatever you're celebrating today. And also, welcome to the new month of June. This afternoon, we have a special program today. This program is going to take a little twist, but we're going to be bringing it to you. I will first start by introducing my panel. As you know, we have our master control behind the scenes, and we have our CEO with us this afternoon, Miss Gigi George.
Hello, guys. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to the Gigi Show. Of course, you guys know. Listen, I'm excited for Tuesdays and Saturdays because it's a time where we get to come on the show and to do what we love, and we're here to educate you. For all those who are celebrating birthdays today, you're celebrating a birthday, sorry, and a wedding anniversary, whatever you're celebrating. We want to celebrate with you, and may God continue to richly bless you. I want to encourage those who are on the Facebook page, kindly share the live so that we can able to get into an interesting conversation this afternoon. We have a little packed session, but of course, we always bring it on to you. So just rock back, sit back, invite a friend, invite a family, share, and let them know that the Gigi Show is on. Thank you, Kendra. And let them know that the Gigi Show is on. Thank you, Kendra.
Yes. We also have joining us a little later on our lone male on the show, no other than Mr. DJ Quinn. So he'll be joining us a little later on. But now I will take you to our special guest for the evening. I will start with I will go with the senior. I wouldn't say oldest, I'll say the senior, and then we'll go to the youngest. So one of our special invitees this evening is Dr. Abiola Willis, a former teacher in Guyana, former lecturer, over 30 years, trained graduates, masters in supervision management, and a doctorate in learning, instruction, and innovation. Her passion is youth development, and she is also an educator in an ESOL program. which is like English learners, English as a second language. So, without further ado, Dr. Willis, please introduce yourself to the public. Say hello.
Hello, good evening to everyone. And thank you for inviting me. This is my first time at such an event, and I was very happy when you extended invitation because, like you said, my passion is about learning, and I have been in the education field for over 30 years. Even when you were a student, Kendra, I was teaching. So, that's many, many, many moons ago. And I'm very happy to be here to have a conversation. I know that the GG program, you talk about anything and everything. And so I'm happy to be a part of you here. Thank you for inviting me.
You are most welcome. And now we have the next special invitee, looking all beautiful and radiant. No other than Miss Caribbean Universe Guyana, prospective queen, Miss Kaya Boville. Introduce yourself to the panel, please, and the public.
Hi everyone, good day. My name is Kaya Boville. I'll be representing our beautiful country, Guyana, at the Miss Caribbean Universe Pageant 2026 this June. I'm looking forward to your support, and I'm so excited to be here to share my journey, to have a conversation, and just grow.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will be interviewing Miss Kaya in a short few minutes. So ensure you get your snacks, come back, stay tuned. But for now, we're gonna do a little bit of ads where we're gonna talk about our second fundraiser event for the year, which is our Sip and Paint on June 27th at 191 to 193 Shepherds Avenue, East Orange, New Jersey. This event will be grand. We are catering for 50 persons. You will come, sip, paint, and dine in luxury. This will not be any, casting. We're going to be having wine, sipping in our champagne, and we're going to have our hors d'oeuvres and our fine dining cuisines. So just support us. A ticket is only $50 and everything is all inclusive. The next event that we are having is our Know Your Worth retreat. This is the second one for the year. It is so well organized and well put together that the first one we had to have a held over. So this is the second one for the year, and this will be on from I should say November 27th, which is the Friday, to November
October
25th, which
October.
is the Sunday. And this one is very special because it's an all-female retreat, right? So I can tell you from experience, this is a wonderful event. You get to pour out, you get poured into, and you learn from each other. So it's not just only going out and interacting just with friends and these kinds of things, but you are getting stuff to take away and so forth. So please ensure that you're supporting. All right. If you would like to advertise with the Gigi Show, please feel free to contact Miss Jeannie George on 516-601-8510. Right? I'll repeat the number again, 516-601-8510 for any of your ads that you would like to advertise with us, whether it's a barbecue, fish fry, a hang, a retirement, whatever you'd like to advertise with us, we are willing and we will be able to give you at a nice rate. We're going to be lenient with our customers because we are an empowering show, right? So don't be afraid to advertise with us, okay? All right. So before I get into the interview, I'm just gonna perk your minds a little bit so that you know what's to come. All right. We're going to be looking at the topic this afternoon. The main idea is we're going to be talking about the 60th independence, the 60 years that we have been an independent nation. We're going to be focusing on accomplishments. We're going to be focusing on improvements, possibilities, what's good, what's going good, what we can improve. And so being 60 years old is very important. Important not only because we are an independent nation, but it's important because it's important because we grow from strength to strength and we learn to be independent and stand on our own two feet as a country. So we need to examine when we're going good, where we need to improve and so forth. So just get your taste buds around that and so on. We'll get into that conversation a little later on, but I want to go to that beautiful young lady at the bottom of my screen. What a beautiful smile. She will get best smile, I'm telling you. She will get best smile along with some other things, right? Miss Kaya Boville, can you tell us a little bit about your journey to this point? Introduce yourself to the world. Tell us about your upbringing, your schooling, and so forth.
Yes, no problem. So I am from Central Georgetown. I grew up my entire life in town. However, most of my family lived in the country, so we would travel very often. So you could find me as both a country girl and a town girl. I grew When I was growing up, we moved a lot. And so I got to experience different cultures. I got to experience different lifestyles with my siblings. I'm one of five. So you can imagine my mom handling five rowdy children. And I would say I was quiet. I didn't cause too much trouble for her. She might say something else. I was very outspoken. I would stand up for others, and that is what has pursued me into volunteerism. I volunteered for most of my secondary school life, and that transcended into university, and it still continues to this day. I'm a peer educator with the Ministry of Health, and that allows me to go to events like health fairs, schools, and speak on topics that are affecting the youth today. Apart from that, my journey career-wise has not been one straight road. So, like I said, I wasn't very outspoken. And when you see a young girl in the Caribbean and she speaks up for others, you say, okay, she's going to be a lawyer. And from, I believe, when I was 9 to about 15, that's when I said, okay, mommy, this is what I want to do. And I pursued that. So after CXC, I did my CAPE Law, and then I had to pivot. And so I fell back on my sciences and I pursued my bachelor's in medical imaging. So I'm a medical imaging technologist, and currently I am an instructor within the University of Guyana. I am now educating future medical imaging technologists. Outside of work and my passions, to relax, I usually torment my siblings, my nieces and nephews, or I do some crocheting. I love to dance. I like to draw. The arts are a big fan of mine. They're so calming. They allow you to really sit and reflect. And that's one of the main things I find I do when I'm in my alone time, just to have something that's relaxing and allows you to reflect on your actions, your behaviors, and how you treat those around you.
Somebody has on their
Wonderful, wonderful.
Before we go,
Wonderful. That was
before
a
we go
good
further,
mouthful.
before we go
But you
further,
know what baffled me? When you said you're an instructor, you're a lecturer.
so
Wow.
can I ask?
I'm really taken
Thank
back
you.
by that. I'm impressed. Beauty and brains. So, can you tell me how you get into pageantry?
How I got into pageantry. So, doing a pageant has always been something I wanted to do. Same with modeling, and modeling is what pushed me through this. So, a few years ago, I went and I saw a friend of mine in a show, and I met Kenny Hercules. He was the person who organized the show, and I was telling him, this is something that I'd like to do, and he encouraged me to come to the following year's audition, and I did. I got through. I walked the runway. It felt exhilarating. I said, there's no reason that I'm denying myself the honors of trying to get to something because of my own fear. And based on that, I continued to grow in the modeling field. I went to as many auditions as possible. I got through with a few shows. Of course, you're not always going to get all the shows you want. That's a part of life. You win some, you lose some. And the opportunity presented itself to me, if you'd actually believe that. And it's so important to have persons in your corner who believe in you. So Kenny is the one who told me about this opportunity, and he was like, "Hi, is this something you'd be willing to do?" And I was like, "Of course." So it started with me wanting to model, with me actually going to an audition and facing that fear amongst persons who have already been established in the industry, and then putting myself out there to say, okay, let's try.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So that brings me to the question, because every pageant, we know that the delegates would have a platform. What is your platform for this pageant?
My platform will be based upon my research and my work with the Epilepsy Foundation. So after graduating, I started working with the Epilepsy Foundation as a electroencephalogram technologist, or EEG for short. And what we do is we provide service delivery to persons who are experiencing seizures or who are diagnosed with epilepsy. Apart from that, I wish to bring levels of awareness to persons within our communities, to schools, so persons are educated on what epilepsy and seizures are. So we run away from the narrative of the stigma and discrimination attached to those persons.
Wow. Wonderful. As a little girl, I grew up with my grandparents, and I always heard about the epilepsy, and then some people would call name and say fits and these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing someone, I can't remember if it's in school or if it was work, the person got an attack, and they would put a spoon in their mouth. Is that a recommended strategy?
No, it is not. It's actually way more harmful. And that's what I mean by educating persons, because the only way we can do better is if we know what to do and know what not to do. So some of the common stigmas against epilepsy are you think people are mad, you think they're having some sort of mental breakdown, but that's not the case. They're experiencing something that they cannot control. And in order for them to get the help they need, we need to know what to do. So it's not recommended to put anything in the person's mouth. And it actually, persons say that because they're afraid people will swallow their tongue. It's medically impossible to swallow your tongue. But persons aren't aware of that because that's what was done in the past. Persons also try to hold the person down when they're having an attack. And that's wrong as well, because you can cause more harm than good. Remember, the person is not in control of their bodies. If you're holding them down while they're moving, you can cause injury.
Wow, very informative. So I see that our lone male, our very own Mr. DJ Quinn has joined us. Welcome, Mr. Quinn. We have
Thank you
some
so much.
special ladies with us this afternoon.
Awesome. Interesting conversation so far. Welcome. And let's get on into it. I'm learning.
Yes, me too. Me too. Kaya, someone asked in the audience, what is your favorite snack?
My favorite snack. So, I, if you guys will believe this, I have a sweet tooth, okay? But apart from that, if you find me, you'll find Kaya with a cheese Dixie.
Mm,
Staying here with Melissa, and whilst mentoring, whilst assisting me with this journey, she's ensuring that I have all the little knickknacks that I need. And I must say, it's a continued journey, and I love the support that I'm having.
yes, thank you. I want to ask the panelists if they have any questions that they would like to ask you. While they're getting that together, I would like to ask, what advice would you give to young women out in the diaspora who is thinking about pageantry and whether it's a good thing to get involved in or so on?
Thank you so much. So, the thing that most young women would feel when it concerns pageantry and putting yourself out there on a platform where persons are going to be constantly watching you is the fear. So, my advice would be do it even when you're fearful. Because as you continue to grow in an audience or grow in something that you want to do, slowly but surely the fear is going to subside. But if you wait for the fear to completely pass, you may lose opportunities. So I would say if there's something you want to work on, start. Ensure that you have a few persons in your corner that are willing to work with you, that are willing to guide you, and move from there. So, like I mentioned, I'm here with Melissa, and the committee has been constantly helping me. Even while I was there in Guyana, we would have Zoom sessions, we would have WhatsApp calls, we would have constant monitoring for my growth throughout this journey. So, it's very important that you have that support system. But if you don't, be your own support. Start with yourself, and more persons are going to join you as you continue.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Very eloquent speaker.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well done. But of course, I do have a question for Kyle. Kendra, I don't know if I can just go ahead and ask her. I'm eager to ask her this question.
Go right ahead.
Thank you so much, Kaya. I want to say once again, welcome to the Gigi Show for the first time. It's a pleasure having you here. And of course, I have a question for you. So, this is my question. If you use your crown and sash to promote one specific cause or issue, which one would you champion?
Hi, I'm so sorry, Ms. Gigi. I'm not hearing you.
Are you guys hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah?
I'm hearing
Okay.
you too.
Okay. Are you hearing?
She didn't hear that question. Ask them to ask it.
Could someone repeat
So I was
the question?
asked.
The question is, can you hear me, Kyle? Yes.
Yes, I can.
I was asking Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
You guys hearing me?
It's,
All right.
It's chopping a little. Let me ask her. She's asking.
I'm gonna
if
leave
you
and
can
come
use Your
back.
crown and your sash
I'm
to
gonna go and come back.
You're gonna go and come back? Because I was gonna let her answer the question. I repeated what you said. She's frozen. She was saying if you use your crown and your sash to promote or support one cause, which one would you champion?
Would you like me to answer now or when she returns?
When she returns,
Okay, no problem.
I think she's coming in back. Yes. So while we're waiting on Miss Gigi to come back, I will ask you about you're representing Guyana as Miss Caribbean Universe prospective queen, and we just celebrated 60 years, right? Of course, you will be patriotic because you are from Guyana. So, what does the 60 years mean to you? How does it make you feel?
That's a wonderful question. 60 years of independence to me means a growth, a steady increase in opportunities for the youths. It means we had trials and tribulations, some that are still present, but there's been sustainable growth to continue to be an independent state. It means that there's a future ahead for young professionals like myself and others who are budding and now upcoming. It means that we are continuing to grow as a nation. We are continuing to champion for change, and we will continue to do so. That's what 60 years represents to me.
Wonderful, excellent. Gigi, are you back? Are you hearing us?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
so she
here.
can, yes,
Okay,
ask
thank
your
you so
question.
much. Thank you so much. So my question to Kai is that if you use your crown and sash to promote one specific cause or issue, which would you champion?
Thank you so much. And I can hear you well now. So, if I were to champion one cause, it would definitely to bring awareness to epilepsy. Most persons aren't aware that epilepsy is very common within the Caribbean nation and Guyana as well. It's the fact that anyone can have a seizure. So that's our children, that's the teens, that's adults, that's the elder generation, that's the entire diaspora. So if I were to champion one cause, it would be to bring awareness on epilepsy and seizures so persons are knowledgeable on what to do, what not to do when someone is having a seizure, because you can save a life. And if not someone you know, someone that you don't know, you can give that information to someone else and they can then help someone else. So it's a rippling effect that it will cause. Yeah.
Thank you. I have one more question and I digress. So the one more question I have, who is your role model and how has their influence shaped your goals?
This is such an interesting question and I love it. I've talked about this several times. So, like I said, I'm one of five. And growing up, while my mom was at work, majority of the time I spent with my eldest sister, Damali. And she has continued to be my rock. When I tell you I could call my sister right now, and I'm all the way over here, she's in an entire country, and I say, Mali, this is wrong. She's going to set aside the time to be there for me. Apart from being such a calm and compassionate person, she strives to continue to better herself. And I think that's one of the main things I love about her because she's able to give so much to others and still have time to be there for herself. She has a business, she has two children, and she still makes the time for her, me,
Wow.
her other siblings, the persons within her life, her friends, and they live throughout the world. I don't know how she does it. I say, it comes with being the eldest. Something about that gives her this edge that I just admire so much.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay,
Thank
Kaya,
you.
I have a question or two for you. Um, I know that pageants, we usually showcase culture, social events. What is a national pride that you would like to showcase if given the opportunity?
Thank you. A national pride I would like to showcase. That's a very interesting question. So we are known for having 6 races. We're known for having diversity of celebrating cultures, religions, and traditions from all 6 of those races. I think that is one thing I would love to show to the world, the way we integrate our people throughout everything. The fact that I know most persons aren't privy to have the amount of holidays that we have here in Guyana, but it's such an important part of our history to know that our culture is celebrated and it is welcomed by the entire country. Because you'll find on Pagua, it's not just the Indians that are celebrating, you'll find the entire country is there supporting. Emancipation, you'll find the entire country. And that is something that is really, really impactful, very, very much a proud moment as a Guyanese.
And one other question. Over time, has pageant or pageantry changed? And if so, in what way or ways?
My mic didn't want to unmute for a minute there. I would say yes, it has. Pageantry has definitely shifted, and I believe it has shifted for the betterment. You'll find now that the persons who are champion for change are focused on current events, future events. They're focused on what's current, what's present, and how it will impact the persons who are next in line. So I believe that's one of the biggest changes that we've seen thus far. And we will continue to see, might I add.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. DJ Quinn.
Yes, Madam Host, Kendra, great job so far. And Kaya, you look lovely in your sash and your crown. Are you hearing me loud and clear? You're not? She not hear me?
Kai, you not hearing him?
No, so sorry.
You're not hearing him?
No.
One more time. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me now? No?
I can hear now through a second device.
I want you to hear me well, Kyle. Are you hearing me now? Kendra, you hear me?
Yes, I'm
hearing you.
Okay, good. So I was saying to you, Kyle, you look lovely in your sash and your crown. And I am wondering, and this, to me, this is a springboard for many, many more interviews to come, because I see you going places.
I'm hearing you.
Awesome. So it might be in a little delay. I think this is a springboard for many more interviews like this. And I'm hoping that you could maintain that smile for the not 100 interviews that you're going to be having. But Kaya, tell me, beyond the crown and the sash, what do you hope people will remember about you?
She's listening on the other device, so it's a little delayed.
Right, I realize that.
So I'm sorry if there was a slight delay. I was listening for someone else. I'm now hearing what you said. And thank you so much for your compliments. And I think the smile will remain. Might go off a few times, but it'll be back. What's one thing I want to be remembered by? I want to be remembered as someone who encourages others, someone who at any moment's notice will encourage you to say, do it, if it's something you truly want to do. Because I'm here sitting in this position because someone believed in me. I'm here because I believe in myself. And while others may not have someone in their corner, it's very important that you plant a seed within yourself. However, the minute you see someone pouring into you or onto you, it gives you this other sense of pride. It gives you this sense of, I can do this. If someone else believes in me, then I'm really doing something right. And that is something that I want to continue to do.
That's an awesome answer, Kayo. And I see you maintain that smile. But tell me, Kayo, are you still not hearing me? I got a deeper question for you. What does confidence mean to you?
I don't think she's hearing.
She's
Could you
listening on
guys repeat
another
it?
device. So
Oh, she's listening on another device.
right.
Oh,
So
okay,
she's
okay.
not hearing him. So
It's
she's
a
listening
delay.
on another device. So there's a delay.
Okay.
So, Kayo,
What
are
does
you ready for my answer?
confidence mean to me? If I'm being very honest, oh, he tipped off. Okay, he's back. To me, confidence is a facade. Confidence is a mask that you can put on. Confidence is something that you can rely on to be the best version of yourself. And while the reason I'm saying that it's a facade is because you can fake it. You can be
Okay.
nervous and the world does not have to know. However, you just have to put this sense of, I'm here, I'm present, I'm going to do what I can, and I'm going to do it at the best of my abilities. That's what confidence is to me.
That is awesome. I just got one more. I'll let you go because you're gonna be in hardcore interviews for the rest of the period before your pageant, right? So we have to really prepare you. This is your springboard. So, Kayo, tell me, you said all that you said about confidence, about what you would do with your crown and your sash. Tell me, and you are going against maybe how many women? 15, 20, 30. What makes Kayo unique? Is it still in delay? Kayo, you heard that?
Thank you for that. In of itself, Kaya is unique because there's literally only one of me. While there may be a Kaya with
Love
the same,
it.
there
Very
might
good
be
answer.
a Kaya with the same age. There may be a Kaya with there will only be the Kaya that you see here, right here, in the present. And that alone is unique. I am here, I have my voice, I have my passions, I have my beliefs, and I am willing to share that in positive ways. I'm here to encourage others. I am here to grow as an individual. And that of itself continues to make me unique. But I am unique because I am me.
Okay, hats off to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Kaya, for that warm and confident, exhilarating responses. Not only were you calm, cool, and collective, but you stuck to the question that was asked. So keep on that trail. Keep at it. So now we're gonna go into the second half or the second part of the program. And just before I do that, we have another special invitee that will be joining us. And that person is no other than Mr. Rickford Burke. So please join us, Mr. Burke, before we get into our topic this afternoon.
All right, guys. In the meanwhile, he's getting
I
in the
think he's
room.
getting. Mhm.
Let's get. Can we ask you to share the live? Invite a friend because we will be talking a little bit about our independence, 60th independence that just passed last week. And of course, of course, you guys know that we do have a parade on Sunday. And we'll be talking a bit with Mr. Burke about that. So he will be joining us in a short while. So as we continue, just share the live, invite someone so we can able to, in the meanwhile, get him into the room. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
And we will also have Miss Kaya on the at the parade. She will be doing a presentation there as well. So if you come out to the parade, not only to support the independence celebration, but you're able to meet and greet, see the prospective Miss Caribbean Universe at the festivities on Sunday, June 7th. The topic for this afternoon is 60 years, our accomplishments, our progressions, and our possibilities. I will structure it like that. We are going to be positive as well as proactive this afternoon. We're going to look from whence we came and where we can go. And in doing so, we will not only just focus on the 60, but we're going to look at our development in education, infrastructure, culture, business, natural resources, and even the contributions by important people. I should say all our people are important because they contribute in some way or form, some shape, some way, somehow. But we all are important to the development of the nation. So this afternoon, we're going to get into that conversation. And I will first ask Miss Willis, being well, not a former educator, was a former educator of social studies. So I know she's very deep in touch with this topic. I'm going to ask her to expound a little bit on independence for us this afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Now, let's just go back a little bit about what independence is. What is independence? Independence marks a new beginning of a nation's journey toward freedom and self-governance. Self-governance is very important to the topic of independence. All right. Now, this is where a country has an important task of building strong institutions. A government, a country is asking for independence. It's just like a family. You have your kids, they grow up, they branch off on their own, they want to do things their own way. Similarly, that's independence for a country. The country has the task of building strong institutions. You may want to know what are institutions. Institutions, it's a system that we create to serve particular special purpose in society. An institution like education, the judicial system, religion. These are all institutions. They are there for a particular purpose, to serve, to enhance the quality of life for the people. So when we're talking independence, we're talking about institutions to enhance the quality of life of the people. Now, there are several ways that one can measure development. And I want to point out that development after independence is a continuous process. So sometimes we say negative things about our country, but we have to remember it's a process. It's a continuous process. Now, how do we measure development? There are economic development, and I'm not an economist, but we know that depending on a country's GDP, maybe employment rate, maybe the income, it could tell us whether the country is experiencing economic growth. But to the man on the street, when we're talking about economic development, we're looking to see how governments or leaders help to create jobs. Are they creating industries? Those are things that we look at, the man on the street. They don't necessarily understand the GDP, and there is a formula for GDP that I don't know. But what we know as a man in the street, we are looking to see if after independence, if our country is able to create jobs, to improve on agriculture, to support small businesses. That's what the man on the street is looking for. And at the end of the day, if these things are in place, then we are supposed to see reduction in poverty and a better standard of living. We could also look at, and Kendra mentioned that earlier too, infrastructure. We're talking here about roads, bridges, hospitals, water, electricity, the communication system, healthcare. These are the infrastructure is what is going to create that communication network. It facilitates trade. Because of our infrastructure, we're able to communicate throughout our nation and even the Caribbean globally because of infrastructure. So infrastructure development is another key area that if we want to measure development, then we can look at that. And of course, education. And that's where I am going to be focusing on because that's my field. I have been teaching for more than 30 years. I started my career from school at Stella Maris Primary. That's many, many moons ago. Before, Kaya, you were born, I started to teach there. And then I moved through and I ended my career as a lecturer, a senior lecturer at the Sarah Potter College of Education. I'm retired and now I am here. I'm still contributing because I work with the adult institution where we teach GED as well as ESOL. And I can relate to the students because they're immigrants just like me. And because of my experience, I'm able to relate and contribute to their welfare. All right, let's look a little bit more at education. And you will know that most nations, most societies, they invest a lot in education. They invest a lot in education. Education is the key. Usually they get the biggest, maybe the biggest portion in the national budget, you know? And we know that this whole focus is to equip citizens with the knowledge and skills that they need so that they could drive the workforce. And that's very important, the workforce. And so over the years, my passion, as Kendra said before, is youth development. And I'm not one to go by hearsay, but what I see online, I am kind of appalled as to what is happening with our students, our young people. And so if we are measuring, if you want to measure development, these are just some areas. And for me, the key area is education. That's key for me. Now, I want to look back too at our achievement. For 60 years, I think that we have, in terms of education, we have a lot to celebrate. My last place of work was at CPCE, and I left there maybe what, 6, 7 years I've left there. When I was there, we still had in person, in person classes. Now they're online. And in every region, citizens have the opportunity to access teacher training. And that's just a couple of years. I just left there 5, 6 years. And from then to now. So we still have a lot to celebrate for our 60 years. And like I said before, it's a continuous process. What else do we want to talk about? Another achievement. Before, traditionally, people were you had to go to college for 2 years and 3 years, and then you wait for a little time, I think 2 years, before you could go on to the university to become a trained graduate. Now it's not so. You have an associate degree, even though teacher certificate is still available based on my knowledge, but now you have an associate degree, 2 years, and then you can go straight into UG. So it's not the long period you're waiting. And to me, that is development. Now I said all of that to say that it's a continuous progress and it requires good governance. Good governance. And when we're talking about good governance, we're talking about a government that should be, that must be, not should, they must be transparent. If we want to say that we are really growing, we're really developing, good governance, the people, and of course the private sector, we have to work together. Good governance, transparent. Information should be accessible to everyone. Whatever decisions are made, it should be open. You know, sometimes I try to get information about what's going on in Guyana, and sometimes it's difficult. If we want to say that we are developing or we are a developed country, then transparency is paramount. We could also talk about accountability. Leaders, they were placed in the position for a reason. They must be responsible for they must be held responsible for their actions and whatever decisions they're making.
Okay.
Of course, we talk about the rule of law. Citizens must feel that there is some amount of fairness. Laws should be applied fairly and equally to everyone. All groups should have equal opportunities. And one of my last points that I want to talk about too is a government that should be responsive to the needs of the people. Leaders and institutions must address the needs and concerns of their people. That is what will, it's like a cycle. You get the issues from the people, you try to address it. And that's what development is all about.
Okay.
If we want to measure if we have achieved or we have not achieved, or we are improving, where areas are. We look at our economic development, we look at infrastructure, and the most important, we look at education. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Dr. Willis. That was a mouthful. That really jogged my memory on a lot of stuff. Yes, I remember doing some of this, but I'm not even thinking. I wasn't even thinking as far as how you broke it down. That you're gonna measure development in order in different sectors or different institutions to rightfully or fair, or I should say fairly say if development is taking place. Well, definitely there is development. We must say that there is
Yeah,
development because we're
yeah.
moving from strength to strength, place to place. Mr. Quinn, what is your take on our accomplishments, developments, or thereof, improvements, or so forth? What is your take on this topic?
One other thing before Mr. Quinn, one other thing. I want to mention that just recently online we saw teachers abusing some special education, special needs, special education children. I want to say that when I was at CPC, they did not have that. But right now, they have that. Teachers are trained in special education, and I think that's a plus. So now there is greater inclusiveness in the classroom. And I'm extremely proud of my country.
Thank you.
All right, so quickly, guys. So we do have Mr. Burke, who is on the phone with us. I know he's kind of busy, so let's give him an opportunity to talk to us about the event that's coming up, the parade on Sunday. Mr. Burke, good evening and welcome to the Gigi Show.
Good evening. Thanks for having me, and good evening to all your listeners. Good night, Guyanese massive out there.
Yes. Good night to you too.
Good night.
Absolutely. So we know, of course, Kendra has a few questions that she wants to ask you in connection with the event that you have. I didn't know you usually have that every year, but Kendra has a few questions that she wants to ask you. Let us know about what is coming up on Sunday for that event.
Good evening, Mr. Burke.
Hello. Good night.
Hello. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. I have a few questions for you pertaining to the event. I would like for you to tell us where it's going to be and what to expect. And then I would like to know what 60 years means to you.
You sure you want me to answer that last question?
Yes. Yes, I want you to answer it.
Certainly. All right. Well, good night to everybody again. Of course, Sunday, the 7th of June coming up is the official Guyana Independence celebration here in New York City. And of course, we always celebrate the independence with a parade and a unity concert. It's going to be grand this year. We're going to surprise the Guyanese community because we're really putting a lot of work and effort into the event. The parade starts in church in Utica Avenue at 12 noon, midday, on Sunday. So we're asking people to come early because we want to start assembling, the trucks and vehicles and the people and lining up everybody, making sure, the sound system is set and ready to go. So come early. It's going to be a jubilant atmosphere. Once the parade starts, the parade goes down Church Avenue, which is west on Church Avenue, which is down through the 50s. It goes up to Linden Boulevard. Then we taking over Linden.
That is it.
These people, Linden Boulevard.
Oh my goodness.
So, We're going down Linden West on Linden. Of course, on the southern carriageway because we have to go with the flood traffic. And we're going to go all the way to Rockaway Avenue, which is the main avenue from Linden going into Canarsie. We're going to make a right into Rockaway Avenue. We'll go up to Avenue D, which is by the Pepsi factory. And we'll make a left there on Avenue D. We'll go 1 block over, and that's East 101 Street. And then we make a right into that, and the venue, a big venue, Guyanese people can't complain. It's a nice big venue. We'll have it well decorated for the Unity concert. 101 million, and we could hold in that venue. So they can't complain that it's small and it's this and it's that. It's a nice venue, and we hope to make that the permanent home of the Unity concert going forward.
Well done.
Nice.
Well done.
Guyanese people, tell a friend, tell a family, go tell everybody, share the information, share the flyers. When you see the posters and the banners on the street, take pictures of them, post them all over social media. There are 500,000 of us in the New York tri-state area. Let us represent our country. Let us come out and support. In terms of what the years mean for me, our country should be mature now at 60.
Absolutely.
And leaving out the politics.
Absolutely.
I love the Guyanese culture.
Yes.
We want to, at this juncture, highlight our culture, our heritage, our music. The Guyanese, we want to focus on Guyanese music this year. So we want to focus on drumming, the culture. That is why the theme of this celebration is feel the rhythm of the nation at 60. Feel the rhythm of the nation at 60. So when we're going down the streets, the people must feel the Guyanese rhythm. They must understand it's not Trinidad and St. Vincent and Grenada and Barbados.
That's
know
right.
how to jump up on the street.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes. Yes.
So all Guyanese, come out, forget about the politics, come out, let us celebrate our culture, let us celebrate our country. On June 7th, from 12 noon, we meet up at church at Utica, and we mash in. They know what they mash in New York. We can remind them
what mash is.
Linden Boulevard. Anybody have a parade on Linden? Guyanese going and take over Linden.
I love it. I love it. I literally love it. Yes. All right. I love this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rickford.
And also, we have the awards dinner on the 27th of June. Everybody come out, buy your tickets. You could go to www.celebrateguyanaNYC.com. You can make reservations for your ticket. The tickets are $180. It's going to be at the Sheraton Hotel. We'll have a nice, that's the formal, that's where we can go and behave tighty-tighty. As far as the people that say hoity-toity. Right? That's where we can dress up and go and celebrate Guyanese who have contributed significantly to our country, to our culture, and the international community.
Absolutely.
For people who want tickets, again, go to the website www.celebrateguyanaNYC.com. You could get tickets for the dinner there. You could get tickets for concert there. As also on Eventbrite, you could get tickets for the concert and the dinner. If you're local and you want to go physically buy a ticket for the concert, Palms Bakery, everybody with Palms Bakery, Churches, Connected Avenue. Like I said, bring out the whole family, bring out the friend, for my auntie, my cousin, my grandmother, and them. Walk with your beach chair and sit down and enjoy the concert.
Absolutely. Love it. Wonderful. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be there to celebrate also the 60th anniversary. Thank you so much, Mr. Burke.
Great.
Yes.
Thanks for having me, and see you all on Sunday. 12 noon.
See you on Sunday.
Utica Avenue.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. See you on Sunday. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. See you
out of your busy schedule. Okay, have a good one. Thank you.
All right.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Rickford Burke. I don't think we're more patriotic than him. He's Guyanese down to he bone marrow. Yes. So I will hand over to Mr. Quinn because he was about to give us his take on the 60 years and accomplishments, improvements, whatever is necessary to grow from strength to strength. What is your take on this?
Well, I celebrate 60 years. I recognize that we've come a long way through challenges, but we definitely produce lots of great people, entrepreneurs, pageants like Miss Kaya and so many others, lots of scholars, lots of people in the healthcare industry, educators. We've come a long way. Free education, University of Guyana, Cyril Potter, President's College, Guyana Technical Training Complex. So many things was accomplished previously. I've worked with two presidents, President Haidt and LFS Burnham, and so I've been close to progress from the head down. And I'm proud of my country. I know we are still experiencing challenges. We've made two bridges, one current. We've got a new Donovo Airport. I could find a lot of good things that we can point to that is some development, some progress. One of the things that I had a problem with many years ago was people using so much staple machines and paperwork when you go to collect a barrel. And I don't know if it's still happening now, but you got to go to 7 different people to get a barrel, before you finally get it. I used to have to go to a particular office to get driver's license. And one time I stand in a line, I'm not as light skinned as, Gigi. So sunlight and me don't do well standing in a line for many hours. And after a while, I see that that's changed. GRA has got a nice building. GCOM's got a nice building. I see that folks are able to drive on nice roads. And back in our days, we didn't have speed bumps. So that's a progress. When you see speed bumps, you know that people are driving too fast and there's too many cars in a home. So you got to control traffic. I see there's roundabouts now. Well, could I go on? I mean, there's a lot of things I see huge buildings over some very small ones in Campbellville. I see huge hotels with glass walls and tile floors and pools. And, we only had Watuka at one point and Loku. And so when you see hotels now with pools, it's development, it's progress. In my time, we had Chocha bus and Tata bus and Kayo. Now there's no main bus now, but we had transportation, right? Some people have 3-4 buses in one home, 4-5 cars. My little niece is driving a car now. I was down there. She said, "I'm glad I'll come pick you up from Melanie." I'll be like, "This hour of the night? I don't think so." But the lady is driving a car. My niece drove to Linden, came back down in the nighttime. Back in the days, that wasn't happening. Most women were not driving. And so I see a lot of progress, and I'm proud of my country. What I do want to also point out that no time than ever that there's so many people in the diaspora who is representing Guyana in the way we are now because of media, because of media houses, because of the freedom we have in the diaspora to voice our opinions, our concerns. I think even for these past 6 years, I've seen a great improvement and a rise up of people speaking up against things that aren't right or things that are dormant, things that needs to change in Guyana for the betterment of Guyanese. And so I see progress when it comes to that. And I applaud my people. I know we had a lot of writers from the names, V.S. Naipaul. I don't know if V.S. Naipaul, lots of great writers come to Guyana. And so a lot of time when you think about those times, LFS Burnham and Walter Rodney and a few others were the only people who made Guyana known to the world in a big way. Now we have so many people who are putting Guyana on a platform that the world is knowing about us in a positive way too. And so people don't always have to remember Jim Jones' situation, but now they can remember that we have oil. We still have silicon sand.
Yep, I agree with you with that. Mm-hmm.
Lumber, right? We still have 6 races living well with each other. I mean, only election time you see things happen. My neighbors were some sweet Indian people, and so only election time when you see some division. But we live well. We play marbles together. We catch fish in the trench together. You know, we had good old times. I know also that there was a time when my mom had to move out to Maiconi the night before they burned the house down.
Oh, wow.
So I know that there are times that we try to forget, but we've come a long way from racism, a long way from divisions, and a long way from segregation, a long way from so many things that are negative. I think we can still find negatives now, but we can't dwell on it. I would hope that that we would take note when the flag wasn't risen properly, and that we would do some reflection as to why that is so. In my time, I don't know if they were fired, but in my time, you'd lose 10 days pay for not being able to raise that flag.
Not properly.
And so I don't want to dwell on it because I don't know what happened. Maybe the spirits in Fort
Island.
whatever
Fort
its name was,
Island.
Fort Island, have some concerns, and the poor folks cannot get a flag up. But that is so blatant to us as law enforcement and military personnel to see we have made progress in so many ways, and that particular moment make us all look bad, military and paramilitary.
Yes.
And so I hope that we can correct that. We could do some damage control, and we could continue to highlight those great things that Guyana is doing and will continue to do, and that we would recognize and remember those songs we sang in primary school. I want to build this land that belongs to me. From Paco Reimer Speaks of Poor, and all these cultural songs that we had to sing, and remember that we have an obligation too to build Guyana, not just to talk about it and tear it down, but to put our hands together as is expected from our LFS Burnham, our president, who taught us how to be self-sufficient and till the soil and get a skill and all these things. You know, our seamstress are going away. Our tailors are going away. Who's repairing our shoes? All these skill sets are going away. I want us to not evolve into an oil-rich nation, but to provide a society where we continue to build skills for our young people, right? And continue to push hope for the other Caribbean countries, because we are the basket, we are the bread basket. And let us maintain that. Let us come together and cooperate to build Guyana. So yes, I applaud Guyana. Great progress, but there's a lot of work to do. And I'm hoping that our leaders can listen to those of us who came over here, not because we want to get away from the tough times, but we want to develop ourselves so that we can take it back home. My intention is to take all the skills I have with me back home to Guyana, but who's listening? I know many of us want to do that. And so I'm hoping that we will have an opportunity to support the efforts of Guyana to build it more, that 10 years from now, Guyana would be celebrating in a bigger way. But I applaud Guyana. 60 years, congratulations.
Could I say something?
Yes.
I would like to piggy on what Mr. Quinn just said about the skills. We really need those technical skills now. When I look online and I see school violence, the bullying, what's going on, I don't blame those kids, the students. I don't blame them, because education, that's my passion. Education now, this one size fits all cannot work. It cannot work. There are students who like to do things with their hands. So when they sit in the classroom and you're telling them about all these theories, they're not there. They're not there. Nothing is relevant to them, so they make trouble. Now, again, if we pay attention, we're talking about improvements. We pay attention to education. Education gets the most money. And so we have to come up with strategies to deal with this. It's not going to go away like that. It needs intervention. And like I said before, is education is the key to success. I think there was a song I was listening to sometime. Education is the key to success, and I believe it. And so, if we could, like you said, come up with a plan, something that we could reach our students, our children, make it relevant to them, I think we can go from strength to strength. And like you just said, we have come a long way in just 60 years. We have seen a lot of growth. So that's my take on that. We really need the skills.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Willis and DJ Quinn. For those who are just joining us, we're talking about the 60 years and 60 years of independence, our accomplishments and improvements, because we want to be proactive. We just don't want to point out flaws without saying or advising some things that can be done. So we're going to be proactive and not just reactive. And those who might be now joining us, we have a beautiful young lady on with us who is our prospective queen, Miss Caribbean Universe, Miss Kaya Boville. Yes, she's waving her flag, very patriotic. Yes, she's waving her flag. And so before I go to Kaya and ask her a question, I wanted to just shed light a little bit on sports. I'm very in tune with sports. I was a part of the Amateur Athletics Association in Guyana for a very long time. And I am highly impressed with our sports repertoire. We are having people going to Olympics now. Imagine that.
Great.
Having people going to Olympics now.
Yeah.
Miss Chelsea Edgill, one of my former students from the Bishop's High School, graced the stage. We had Mr. Winston George grace the stage. We had Mr. Emmanuel Archibald grace the stage at the Olympics. We had the swimmers, Mr. Passad and Miss Passad. They're both Passads, right? Gracing the stage at the Olympics. And we have Malik Austin now off to college. We have what's her name? Oh gosh, the name is going from me. Aaliyah. Yes, we have Miss Aaliyah. All these athletes now are overseas training because they are good at what they do. And for me, back in the day, athletics, you just used to see people, they might run, they might look good at it and thing, and then that's it. They run at the national level and you see them working in some government job, and that's it. Where we can push our potential athletes to make it a career, it is a good thing. And I must commend the sports department because it has shown us that we have improved and we've come from strength to strength, right? Our natural resources, the oil is putting us on the map. We are no longer, as DJ Quinn was saying just now, we are no longer, a few persons like, oh, where are you from? I'm from Guyana. Oh, where is that? I'm not too sure where that is. And your governor say, oh, they did, the Jim Jones story. And then they say, okay, but now, where are you from? Guyana. Oh, the
Oil
oil,
rich country,
oil
right?
rich.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the oil
And
country. Yeah.
yeah, so now you could stand up now
No more
and
Jim Jones
rub your
anymore.
shoulders a little more. You don't have to talk about that solemn Jim Jones
Yes.
nonsense, and it's really, really, really um uplifting. I feel so proud that I could speak among people about my country and represent them well. Are there ills? Yes, there is. But look at that wonderful display we had at the Independence. That was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
That
very
was well done.
creative.
Really, really, really
So,
good. You
Mm-hmm.
deserve,
we have,
you deserve and
we
have
have
that. Indeed, that was good.
yes, we have things that need improvement. We have areas that of course, like everything, will need improvement, and we're gonna have to put our heads together to get from strength to strength and growth and development. But if we look at 60 years from whence we came, we were once ruled by the British, and
Mhm.
and so I am so proud. I am proud of my country. I am
But,
proud
but,
of.
but Kendra, before you go to Kaya, I know you have
Mhm.
another question for Kaya. I wanna highlight a situation that I was telling. I think it was you and I were on the phone yesterday, and it said Kendra. I don't know, remember if it's you anyway. You remember back in the 90s when Guyanese had the the bench in Barbados?
Adventure Barbados.
Now look how it has turned, and
Yes.
I really that's what you call development, because Guyana has so much to offer now. Now that you can able to go to Barbados with a ID
Got your
card on your
ID.
passport.
Yeah.
That is
You.
amazing. I think that's growth, and I really have to commend them with bridging the gap between Barbados and Guyana. And I think, as you rightfully said, there are a few hiccups. No one is perfect. Things can be better, but I think we have come a very far, far away.
Yes.
Especially when you spoke about the Olympics. That there, I felt so good, because back in the 90s, we couldn't have gone to the Olympics. Now, the young people are going to the Olympics, and I think that's amazing. So I really want to give them a hand for that. And I think that's growth and that's development.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. That is wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. Um, Also, I must mention this. I have seen development in healthcare. From what I know, back in the day in Guyana, my grandmother told me this, and this is not from they say, oh, this is not accurate or whatever. Back in the day when you got a cesarean, my grandmother used to say, oh, this is get a long centipede cut straight down the middle of your belly. Now we have surgery being done in Guyana. When you do a cesarean, you don't get stitch back, you get clamp. These are things. You have very extensive eye surgeries being done in Guyana. You don't have to fly out to go and get it done, and so forth. So healthcare has also improved, I must say. Do we still have a long way to go? Of course. There are areas that we have to improve on. But I must highlight that we have grown from strength to strength. 60 years, we have seen where we come from 60 years. I would like to also stick in one more thing, that I would love for us to have our own airline. If we are the fastest booming economy, I think we should have our own airline back. Right? So whoever's
Capitalize on it.
listening,
Yeah,
yes,
capitalize on it. I
whoever's
agree.
listening, go back to that. But Kaya, I would like to ask you, from your time in school to now, what does growth look like in Guyana for you? Because you're living there. You can tell us what you've been going through, some of the things that you've seen, what it looks like accomplishment, what needs work, and so forth, because you're on the ground. So enlighten us.
That's no problem. From high school to now, to me, you'd see, in terms of growth, there are greater avenues for young persons. That's what I'd say. Yes, we still have a long way to go, but you cannot deny that there have been continuous improvements throughout. And if we're looking from a period of time, then we're looking from a start to a continuum. So it's not a start to an end. It's not to say that this is the last, this is the final, and this is all we're going to get. There is room for growth. So with that in mind, we have to look at it in terms of the steady increase in opportunities that our young folks are having. For instance, myself, when I wanted to do law, I was not able to do that because of the cost. However, persons now will have the opportunity to go and study at the university level, at the tertiary level in their country, free of cost. That's a big accomplishment. That's going to assist so many persons who are coming from all parts of Guyana, because we don't have to consider just the persons living in Region 4. Interior regions who are also having struggles with transportation. Now that the cost of attending classes is little to nothing, then they now get to pour their resources into housing, into transportation, and into food, rather than also having to foot that bill. So you can definitely see that there has been improvement, and it's attributed to the changes that the government has continued to be making.
Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. If we had to improve one area you were given the power to improve as a queen, what would be the area or sector?
One area or sector of?
If you had one area or sector to improve as a queen, you're bestowed the queen and given one area or sector to improve in the nation, in your nation, Guyana, what would it be?
If there's one area that I would improve, I would focus on the health sector. Okay. So currently, and this was mentioned prior, currently we have such a vast number of services available both at the public sector and the private sector. However, although we have technology and information is readily available at the tip of our fingers, most persons aren't aware of where they can go to access services. They aren't aware of why they would need certain services. And with that, there is less access to these services. So you're living far, or you're living right next to a service delivery station, and you're unaware that it's even available. So I would push for information to be shared throughout your journey through school and your workplace on key health services, where you can find them, where they're readily available, both public and private. My focus would definitely be on the health sector.
Okay. Thank you. I want to ask you about natural resources. Since we're a natural resource nation, we have bountiful resources. Do you think we should have a main focus on one particular, or should we try to harness more of our resources to benefit the country?
If we're being very honest and we look at where we're coming from, 60 years, Guyana has never relied on one source of anything. Like I mentioned, it's 6 persons. We have gold, we have bauxite, we have timbers, we have our diamonds, and we have oil, we have fruits, we have vegetables, we have rice. So it would be a setback to say let's only focus on one when we have so much to offer. So I would say to pour into what is possible, improve systems that are already in place, and then put sustainable measures so that we can continue to develop the resources that we have. I wouldn't say just focus on one.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, we have been talking a lot about education, and Dr. Willis has shared her bit. Do you feel that our education system, the curriculum, is efficient, or do you think we should revamp our education system? Remember, they were talking about skills being introduced and that kind of stuff. We used to have it before, and I'm not sure if it's eroded or if they're still in place and so forth. So educate us on what is your take pertaining to the curriculum? Should we be more focused, or should we, divide our focus?
So, to piggyback on what was said prior, it's a
Mhm.
case where with education, there is need for continuous change because the way we learn is completely different. The systems taught maybe 40 years ago are going to be drastically different now. The systems taught 10 years ago are going to be different now. So, yes, there is need for continuous change, revision, and the inclusion of skills would be an asset to the Guyanese population. And you can see that because we already have certain places in already established. We have GTI, we have GTC, and then we have avenues such as Carnegie, which teach persons different skills. So we have them available. What we want is a better integration into secondary school, is what I'm thinking you're asking. And I think that would be a wonderful asset to persons because not only will you have your career, you're in school, you're going to write CXC, that's the Caribbean standard. However, if you have a skill, you get to earn money outside of your day job. And another source of income will always be beneficial to a family.
Okay. Right. Thank you for that response. But not everyone is academically inclined, right? So definitely having the extracurricular and skilled institutions, it would be a plus, right? um how can we decrease, what do you think, what measures can we put in place to decrease the amount of school violence that we are having now?
That's a great question. And we have to consider that persons are experiencing things unbeknownst to us. We all have challenges that are unknown, and children are coming from families into the school, and then they're surrounded by others who also have different upbringing. And it's really that intermingling of different personalities that allows for violence to occur. So what I would say is that we should improve on extracurricular activities within schools, give children the avenues to put their strengths to somewhere positive. So while I was in school, we had the Volunteer Youth Corps, and I was also a member of the PYARG. It's a program by the ministry, and what they allowed for us, we had volunteer courses, we had volunteer opportunities, and then at the end of school, we would during the summer break, we would go and we would tour Guyana, and this would be an expedition. You had to earn that because you had to have several hours in volunteering, you had to have your hours in sports and activities. So you, when it's collective, and then at the end you earn a badge. So if we put the youths into extracurricular activities, we put them in things that they're going to enjoy. You mentioned sports. Sports is a great outlet. You give them opportunities where they can channel their energy and, if frustration as well, into something positive. That would be greatly beneficial.
Okay. Thank you. That's a wonderful response. I do agree with you there that we do need to find avenues or other means or channels so that they do not have so much free time, because I feel like they have a lot of free time and they're not using it wisely. The next question that I'm going to read is from the comments. It is from Miss Jackie. Hold on. And Miss Jackie was asking about the special education the special needs in the education sector. Do you feel that that area needs more attention being paid to it? What is your take on special needs in Guyana?
Okay, she's
Sorry about that.
lubricating,
She had
getting
the
some
opportunity
water.
to do a little bit of hydration.
Yes, that's it.
Um,
Yes.
with regards to special needs education, I would say there is greater acknowledgement for the need for it currently in Guyana. We're
Mhm.
seeing that more persons are looking for avenues to have their children diagnosed and no longer just saying, oh man, she just don't talk right now, she can grow into it. And that level of awareness is what's important, because once persons are accepting that help is needed, then is when you can have persons who are going to say, okay, let's put systems in place to account for that. And because of that, we have seen that occurring. I have a few persons within the school system who say they have special classrooms or a special teacher assigned to students to give them the extra level of attention. Like I mentioned, nothing is perfect as it is, and there will always be opportunity to grow. It's just a matter of seeing it through, continuing to put in the work, and allowing for the change to occur, because change means time has to pass.
Okay. Okay. Um, Miss Miss Butcher has another question. She said, since social media has a lot on our young people, has influence on a lot of influence on our young people, should we bring back national service? What do you think about that?
What is national service, might I ask? I'm not aware of what it is.
Guess
Okay.
Kyle. She didn't
That's
want.
She's
She
too
didn't want
young
that
for
girl.
that.
You're too young.
She's too young. She's
Too
too
young for
young.
National
that.
service, national service, from the little bit of knowledge I know, it's like a semi-army camp, where they would take you, you learn certain skills, you learn about keeping yourself tidy, you learn about keeping your surroundings clean, as well as your deportment and those kinds of things, as well as you get to have knowledge on I should say existing, but also it is a form of discipline. It's mostly geared on discipline and structure. So it definitely puts you in the mind frame of being a more put together person in society. So when they're, wild and all about and they want to fight every 2 minutes around the corner and so on, the national service is an area where they would have placed those people, something like a boot camp, if you get the drift. Right.
Right. I was just about to say something like a boot camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask Mr. Quinn
So what I'm
if
hearing is it
do you
sounds very
think
similar
it's
to what I mentioned about
paramilitary?
PY. And so this was the President's Youth Award. And like I mentioned, so throughout your school life, you continue the program. I started in third form, and you start from bronze, you can go all the way up to becoming a leader. And that's years of service. So with that, you'd have several extracurricular activities that you had to complete. You had to do a skill, and we had cooking classes. We were taught Latin dancing. We were taught time management, money management, financial courses, and those were just the skills. And then we had community services. This is where we had to go into several hospitals. We would visit the children's ward. We would go to the palms, and you'd give back at that time. And then at the end of it, that is where you have similar boot camp, because during the camp, you literally had to travel by foot throughout the country. So we would go to, let's say, Bartica, and we would walk. It's an expedition. You walk from one part of the region to another. You stop, you camp out. It was an amazing experience, and it's still ongoing. So
yes.
I think it's something that persons should look into it and join. And then there are other programs as well. My sister is currently a teacher, and she's continuing on with the program. She has it in her school, and she's currently a leader. I did it with her. Of course, she's older, so She had her medals before me, but she's continuing that program. So social media is a tool, and if we use that tool wisely, then we can impact persons. So on social media we should be pushing to share information so that persons are aware of what is available to them.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so I see two comments there I'm going to read. It says from Apostle Harper, national service was created to train the youths to be able to be of service to the nation, empowering them to be holistically,
Holistically. Mhm.
right? So I guess that's what you're Kaya, that's what you're alluding to, that PYRG was a program that kind of geared you guys towards that, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So Miss Dr. Willis, I'm gonna ask you to piggyback your comment, as I think you wanted to ask or make a comment, and just to give your closing, because it's time for us to wrap up. We're coming down to our final hour. So Dr. Willis, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. I was going to ask if the YSM, if we could classify it as a kind of paramilitary. But given the comment that you just read, it kind of gave me another
Yeah.
perspective of what it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
All right. I know that back in the day we had Kai was talking about the extracurricular activities. We had scouting, and that was something that we had that in the primary school, in high school as well, and that helped to kind of give um students a rounded approach to life. In closing, I want to say that I want to reiterate that development after independence, it's a process. It's a continuous process, and we always have to take some time and do just like what you're doing here right now, to reflect and then look at a path forward in this journey. If we are serious about development, it requires good governance, good governance, and cooperation. It's not the government and the people, we have to cooperate. One of our songs, our national songs, Let Us Cooperate for Guyana. We have to cooperate. All right. The government takes its cue from the people. You have to listen to the cry of the people. What are their concerns? What are their needs? And then you have your institutions to try to satisfy those needs. That's what we're talking about, good governance. If we really want to see growth, that's what we have to do. And we can't beat upon ourselves too much, because it's a process. Like I said, we're growing from strength to strength, from movement to movement. And I am very proud of the accomplishments. And like everything else, every other country, you have setbacks. But it's just that, like I said, we have to be transparent. You make a decision, it may not work, then we must be government. We must hold our leadership to accountability. It didn't work, let's try something else. Let us be accountable. Let us take responsibility for the decisions, because the people elect we elect a government to govern the country, and we expect you to govern. Notwithstanding the population, you have to cooperate with your leadership. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Willis. I
You're
will now
welcome.
ask DJ Quinn to give us your synopsis and closing.
I feel like a student here today, sitting at his footstool of
There's a lot to learn and things.
sitting in the footstool of Ms. Kaya and Dr. Willis. I can sit here some more and learn from you all. Thank you so much for your empowering words and your wisdom. But I served with law enforcement home, and then I also served as a student with the Guyana National Service, wearing the uniforms. But I also served with the Women's Revolutionary Socialist Movement, not as a member, but going there with my mom, who was a local secretary in West Coast of East. And that's where I got my skills from in being a good secretary, because she was a secretary. And when she couldn't handle it, at 12 years old, I was the one who was writing her minutes. And so I learned that skill from that. And that's where I see women got together and were empowered by Viola Borden to do great things in Guyana. I don't know what's happening now when it comes to women getting together as a movement in Guyana. And so there was Vampro, there was crochet came out, there was tie-dye came out. There's all sorts of things came out from the Women's Revolutionary Socialist Movement. So to wrap it up, I'm still proud of Guyana because we've come a long way. I had a chance to go to Crichton Labour College. I had a chance to go to Guyana Technical Training College. I had a chance to go to the Police Academy, Felix Austin, and go back again. And I gained a lot from my own country. I had a chance to apply my products in the various markets, all the markets in Guyana I've sold. I wish that Stabroek Market was a better place after all these years, but I think there's some improvement happening over there. I know I sold at Mon Repos. I see some development over there. I wish there's some developments in Diamond and Grove and some other places that I sold in Wisma and other places in Guyana. But Guyana is developing, and very soon maybe that would be a case. But I didn't want to talk over my head, so I wrote my final thoughts down, if you'll bear with me, for my final thought and what I think about it. As I conclude, I wrote, I want to emphasize that my observation come not from a place of bitterness, but from a place of love for Guyana and its people. True patriotism is not blind celebration. It is the courage to celebrate our achievements while honestly confronting our shortcomings. At 60 years of independence, we have much to be grateful for and much work still to do. Let us move beyond slogans and symbolism and commit ourselves to building a nation rooted in accountability, unity, justice, opportunity, and hope. The future of Guyana will not be determined by our politicians alone, but by every citizen, as Ms. Wilsey, who choose to serve, lead, create, mentor, and contribute. Let us cooperate. May the next chapter of Guyana be a story where we are not only proclaiming our independence, but prove it through our actions, our institutions, and our treatment of one another. May God bless Guyana, and may we continue striving to become the nation we are capable of being. One people, one nation, one destiny. And if you want to add, one Guyana sounds good too. So let's cooperate to build Guyana.
Thank you. Thank you, DJ Quinn.
Yes. We need to cooperate.
Yes, that was well put together. Kaya, could you please give us your closing, as well as let us know when is the pageant, and we are going to be rooting for you. So give us the information.
So I'd first like to say thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed our conversation, the questions, and I learned quite a few. In closing, I would like to say happy independence to my beautiful nation. And you can join me and my journey. You can follow along on the Miss Caribbean Universe Instagram and Facebook pages, also follow along my page, Kaya Bavel, at all platforms. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope to do us all proud.
Thank you so much. Yes. And as I close, I would just like to reiterate the sentiments of my panel. We have come a long way. 60 years is a lot. our Diamond Jubilee. And I must say that we are now recognized. People know who we are for a positive reason, and that is good. But we still have a long way to go, and we will continue to work and toil as a nation to improve and get to the best self that we can be. All right. So without further ado, I do thank you for listening. You are a wonderful audience. Thank you all for your comments. We love you. We thank you for always following the Gigi platforms. And as usual, we will be right back here on Saturday and Tuesday. So thank you very much for your attention, and have a blessed night and a productive week. Please do not forget to go to the Independence Parade on Sunday. Bring a friend, tell a friend to bring another friend, okay? Thank you very much. Kaya, Miss Butcher said congratulations in advance. Exactly. Congratulations in advance. Good luck on your journey, and we know that you will leave a lasting impression in that pageant. Thank you.
Calling all Guyanese and friends of Guyana. Join Guyana Diamond Jubilee Independence Celebration. The Independence Parade starts at Church and Utica, Brooklyn, New York at 12 noon, Sunday, June 7, 2026. They will proceed to Linden Boulevard, into Rockaway Avenue, to Foster Avenue for the Unity Concert at 3 p.m. All going down at 10101 Foster Avenue, corner of East 101 Street, Canarsie, Brooklyn. The award dinner is Saturday, June 27, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Sheraton's LaGuardia East Hotel, located at 135-20 39th Avenue, Flushing, Queens, New York. Dinner ticket costs $180. Advance concert ticket $20. Get your tickets on sale at Palms Bakery, 4620 Church Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, or Eventbrite, or www.celebrateguyanaNYC.com. Come celebrate 60 years of independence. For more information, call 347-282-8551.